Hello, my YouTubers. This is me, Dana Drupsky, again for the second update this week of one of my VHS tapes I got from over the weekend when I was at the antique store somewhere in Fraxville, and the other ones I got it from when I was in the thrift store right down the corner. I think it's in Goodwill, someplace at the Casona. And look at those elegant the Twilight Zone tapes. I paid some good money on this whole set, just for about $20 or $30 on this set. Originally, I bought the reprints of the Twilight Zone tapes back in New York in 2013. They were about 49 cents a piece. Yep. Rod Serling started the whole thing of the Twilight Zone throughout 1959 to 1964, about 156 episodes. Most are like half-an-hour ones. Some of them are just long specials. And these I Love Lucy tapes are from 1951 to 1957. And the ones are originally from CBS Video Library during the 1980s. These were just like the reprints from Columbia House Video Library. And some guest stars were in the Twilight Zone series were with Jack Klugman, Burgess Meredith, Aunt Frances, Edwin, and many more. Let's start with the first volume of the Twilight Zone tapes. Before that, the weather out there is about in the low 30s, but tonight we might be going into the teens, like specifically about like 19 degrees. But it will drop down all the way to 12 overnight. And boy, tomorrow it's going to be really cold. Let's start with the first volume of the Twilight Zone. Elegant packaging that was provided by CBS Video Library. 1987 release. This is from 1211 Avenue of America in New York City. Before it was with Terre Haute, Indiana. Before we open the tape, I'm going to show you something. Yep. This is like dedicated to Rod Serling. He was a heavy smoker in real life, and he died at 48 in 1975. Every cassette has 4 episodes. Let's start with the invasions. We're at this Moorhead from January 27, 1961. One of the angels had Edwin and Murray Hamilton, the one from Jaws movies, October 9, 1959. There's The Eye of a Beholder from November 11, 1960 on Veterans Day. And there's The Lonely that has Jack Wharton and Ted Knight from Caddyshack from November 11, 1959. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. You're entering to the Twilight Zone. I gotta open it. Show you what this tape looks like. No print date on it, and it has the barcode. And I know this one had no macrovision on it. Now here comes the second volume of the Twilight Zone tapes. Here's volume 2. CBS Video Library. 1987 release. On this one it has, here's like one of the classic Twilight Zone episodes, like Time Enough at Last, when they have with Burgess Meredith, when like the world came to an end, when he was a bookworm. Broadcast on November 20th, 1959. There's After Hours, when they have with Aunt Frances from the TV show, the Honey West series. It was broadcast on June 6, 1960. Changing of the guide to have with Donald Pleasant, the one from the Halloween movies, from June 1st, 1962. There's the Monsters Monsters Are Due on Maple Street with Jack Weston, the one from Dirty Dancing, the one who owns the Catskills, on March 4th, 1960. It wasn't me! I swear it wasn't me! Twilight Zone is great, with some good stars and has like twisted episodes. Show you what this tape looks like. Labels coming off. There's the barcode. No print date on it. There's tape in here. And here's the third volume I like the most. CBS Video Library, 1987 release. On this one I love. They have the living doll known as the Talking Tina, when had with Terry Savavis, broadcasted on November 1st, 1963. And the line, she says, "I am Talking Tina and I am going to kill you." Performed by Jim Foray. Then it has in To Serve Man, when they have with Richard Keel, and it was broadcasted on March 2nd, 1962. It's a cookbook. It's a cookbook. That's the line in there, and they did that in the second Naked Gun. And here's the Judgment Night on December 4th, 1959, with Meehan Pearsoff. That was when the Nazis were invading the ship. Then my favorite episode, my third favorite on this tape is The Prayers for Pips with Jack Klugman from September 27th, 1963, when his son died in Vietnam. That's why I had to take his place. "You're 10 years old again, Pep. How come you're 10 years old again?" Jack Klugman was great in one of the 4 Twilight Zone episodes in the series. He was Oscar Madison in the TV show Odd Couple. Here's the barcode, no print date on it. Here's the 4th volume of the series. It has some more good more twisted episodes. This is the one we have, A Walking Decence, that stars with G Young from October 30th, day before Halloween, 1959. The Midnight Sun from November 17th, 1961. Nightmares at 2,000 Feet, when it happened with William Shatner, the guy from the Star Trek series, from the TV show and their films. From October 3rd, 11th, 1963, on Veterans Day. There's a Purple Testament, when it happened with William Reynolds and Dick York, and Wharton Oates, character actor. The same Wharton Oates was in The Wild Bunch, 1941, and The Blue Thunder, from February 12th, 1960. "I believe you're going my way." That's a line from the Hitchhiker episode in the Twilight Zone. Had no print date, has a barcode on there. Now we got the 5th volume. More episodes. This one we have here, that is 100 Yards Down the Whim, when they have with the legendary Cliff Robinson, from April 7th, 1961. Death Heads the Revisit, when they have with Joseph Syndergaard. He was a tortured ghost. He was torturing like an ex-German for what he did to those innocent people during the 1940s around World War II. From November 11th, Veterans Day, 1961. People All Over with Ronnie McDowell, from March 25th, 1960. There's 5 characters in Search for an Exit, from December 22nd to 1961. That was 3 days before Christmas Day. Here's the tape, no print date, but has a barcode. Here's volume 6 of more of the Twilight Zones. 1988 release from CBS Video Library. Still in 51 West 52nd Street in New York, in Manhattan. Let's start with this. It has a stop at Warrenboro for on May 6, 1960. Then it has The Last Fright from February 5th, 1960. That has Alexander Shelby, the one from the Shaggy Dog. He was the villain in that Disney film. Night Call with with Gladys Cooper from February 7th, 1964. The Last Ride to Jeff Myrtlebank, that stars with James Best, from February 23rd, 1962. These Twilight songs were the best, better than the CBS Fox video ones that only had 2 episodes on every cassette. Now we got the 7th volume, more Twilight Zones. Let's start with the a Christmas classic episode. That is, The Night of the Mick, that was videotaped it on December 23rd, 1960, day before Christmas Day. That stars with Jackie Gleason's sidekick Art Carney as Santa Claus, the drunken Santa Claus, and the owner of the department store, played by John Findler, the one who does the voice of Piglet in the Winnie the Pooh series, and he plays Vinny in the 1968's The I Couple. Here's Mirror Image from February 26, 1960. When it had with Vanna Miles, the one from Psycho, as the one she plays Janet Lynn's sister. Then also has The Grave that stars with Silver Martin and Lee Marvin and Lee Van Cleef and James Best. The same Lee Marvin did the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance in Caparoo. Silver Martin character actor, the one he was in Slapshots, is the old guy. And Lee Van Cleef from The Good and the Bad and the Ugly from October 27, 1961. And there's the classic Mask when it has with Robert Keith from March 20th, 1964. When they're wearing their mask, and then at the end of the episode, the mask is in their faces permanently. What an episode. Barcode, yep. We got more Twilight Zones. Here's the 8th volume of the series. First one we have here, absolutely of Flight 33, when how with John Anderson. They broadcast it on February 24th, 1961. The one with the plane was going back in time to the Stone Age. And there's the classic Hitchhiker from January 22nd, 1960. I Believe You're Going My Way. Adam Williams is in that episode there. And here's another Twilight Zone episode to have with Lee Marvin in Steel. The one with the boxing, having a robot fighting, from October 4th, 1963. And there's 2 that stars with Charles Bronson and Elizabeth Montgomery. The one from the TV show The Bewitched. Charles Bronson from those The Death Wish movies. From September 15th, 1961. There are the only 2 were in that episode around like the town, yep. No barcode, no print date. All I see is made from a Scotch blank tape. And here's the one I never have. The 9th volume of the series that has the dummy. That also stars with Cliff Robinson. From May 4th, 1962. Nothing in the Dark. Also has with Gladys Cooper and the young Robert Redford from January 5th, 1962. And there's the Shadow Play that has stars with Dennis Weaver from May 5th, 1961. There's a 16 millimeter screen that stars with Ida Lupino and Martin Balson. The same Martin Balson plays Arbogast, the investigator in Psycho. Broadcasted on October 23rd, 1959. Show what this tape looks like. No print date. And it has the barcode on there. And here's another one. The 10th volume of the series. 1988 release. It has the little girl Lost, that stars with Sarah Marshall and Robert Sampson from March 16, 1962. Then A Game of Pool with Jack Klugman plays a pool with Jonathan Winters from October 13th, 1961. That's that same year when Paul Newman did a movie about playing pool that co-stars with Jackie Gleason as Minnesota Fats in The Hustler. And there's a short drink from the certain fountain that stars at Patrick O'Neill and Walter Brooke from December 13th, 1963. Then we got It's a Good Life from November 3rd, 1961. When it has with Carl Leachman, the young Carl Leachman, the one who died around last January of last year. There's the tape. Checked out this copy. It has Macrovision on it. It was made out of Scotch Blank. I think it was Sony. We got more Twilight Zone episodes. 1988 release. This next one we got here, on this tape it has Obsolete Man with Burgess Meredith, yep, and Joseph Eric from June 2nd, 1961. That was the one with the books were being obsolete. And then Long Distance Call, that was for the videotape, yep, with this kid gets a phone call from his grandmother up in heaven. He's trying to contact the dead. And it's like referring to the second Poltergeist movie in 1986, broadcasted on March 3rd, 1961. What You Need. That stars with Steve Corcoran. Steve Corcoran was a villain character actor that he was in the Danny Kaye films like a Kid from Brooklyn and Wonder Man. And he was in The Best Years of Our Lives and White Heat, the one who killed Cody Jarrett's mother. Broadcast on December 25th, Christmas Day, 1959. Then we have A World of His Own that stars with Edwin's son, Keenan Wynn, character actor. The one with Keenan Wynn has a tape recorder and he loves another girl instead of his former wife. From July 1st, 1960. 3 days before the 4th of July. Here's some tapes that we're really rolling when they had the barcode on the crown. Yeah, doesn't say any print date on it. But at the end of the tape has the no test panel, has the beeper with it goes brrr, brrr, right at the end of this tape. On this, now we got here the 12th tape only had like 3 episodes. Some of it were short, some of it were just long. We have Escape Curse that has with David Wayne. Escape Clause, the one he thinks he's going to die, that stars with David Wayne and character actor Thomas Gomez from November 6, 1959. And here's another episode that stars with Aunt Frances and Jezebel. That's a 1-hour one from February 14, 1963. And here's the long moral from January 10, 1964. We have with George McReady. Here's what this cassette looks like. This tape was printed on January 13th, 1989. Look at the grouse. Boy, I really love the Three Stooges shorts. I know every line from the old Curlies and Shemps. Now we got here the 13th Twilight Zone tape, 1988 release. On this tape it has a persons or persons unknown. When they have with Richard Long, the one from House on the Haunted Hill, broadcasted on March 23rd, 1962. And it has like the Mexerton that stars with Robert Duvall, the young Robert Duvall that he did as the role of Boo in To Kill a Mockingbird. That's how he became like a leading actor. Then it has Rupert Kelton was in that episode, and cartoon voice actor Lenny Reinwith as his brother. From February 21st, 1963, King 9 Will Not Return. That stars with Robert Cummings, broadcasted on September 30th, 1960. Bob Cummings, known as Robert Cummings, the one from the Hitchcock Saboteur and Dial M for Murder. This tape was printed on May 1st, 1989. Uh-oh. I gotta make this into the last video because I have to charge this phone. And here's this, the 14 Twilight Zone tape has 4 new episodes. 1988 release. It has The Silent. The Silent is about when they're betting on a wager just not to talk for like a whole year. That was broadcasted on April 28, 1961. That has with Jonathan Harris. And here's Kick the Can. That stars with Russell Collins from February 9, 1962. And here's The World of Difference when they have with Howard Duff as Arthur Curtis. Yeah, that was like referring to the other episode they have with Richard Long. Like Persons in Persons Unknown from the other tape. Broadcasted on March 11, 1960. Did you know he was married to Ida Lupino in real life, Howard Duff? And finally, And When the Sky Was Opened. Broadcasted on December 11, 1959, when it had Rod Taylor, the one who plays the voice of Pongo in the Disney's 101 Dalmatians, and he was in Hitchcock's The Birds. Show you what this tape looks like before we end this. Yep. Here's the crown barcode. This tape was printed on February 2nd, 1989. I guess that wraps up for the first part of this updated video for January 20th, 2022. Well, now I'll see you for the second part as soon as I charge my camera. See you later. Bye.